on Paycom's employee self-service program. We're really excited to have Resource Label Group on board, and we just wanted to walk all of you through logging into your employee self-service and doing some basic functions. So the concept of an employee self-service portal in Paycom, which is a really exciting development for Resource Label Group, is for you to be able to log in and have access to your payroll information, not only to view your payroll information and what's going on with the time that you've been logging and working, but also to change your information and generally do a lot more basic administrative functions yourself. So today I wanted to give you a brief overview of how to log into your employee self-service, how to make changes in your profile, view your pay stubs, make time off requests, and look at your timesheet, as well as show you the help functionality so you can learn more about our employee self-service program on your own. So this is kind of what your employee self-service page is going to look like once you log in. And let me show you how to log in right now. You're going to go into paycomonline.com, or just paycom.com will work as well. And once you go to that screen, you'll get our Paycom home page, which is going to have a login tab at the top left. And that tab will allow you to log in. You're just going to select login here at the top and employee. And this will bring you to a couple pieces of information that you have to enter. Now, you'll be receiving emails from your HR team over the next few days, if you haven't received them already, that are going to give you your first-time username and password that you can use to log into the system. So in this case, we already have our information for our demonstration training employee, so we're going to type that in, as well as the last four of his social. And this is going to bring us to this menu. The first time you're going to log in, you're going to have kind of a system-generated username as well as a system-generated password. You will have to change your password to a permanent password of your choice and answer and set up a few security questions for future logins. Whenever you change what computer you're logging into, you'll have to answer those security questions. So you see we have a pretty simple interface here that has a couple different menus on it. Basically, the menus here on the left side and the menus in the center are exactly the same thing. So Paycom usually likes to have two ways to navigate to the same part of the system, just depending on your preferences. Also on the right, you'll notice notifications and company messages. I don't have any right now, but in the future you may notice some different notifications to complete actions will be over there on the right, and you'll be able to expand and click the links into those. So the first thing I wanted to go over today was just your timekeeping and taking a basic look at the time you've been working. So most of you should have a tab that will say Web Timesheet under the Time Management feature, or you can hit it here on the left side of the menu. And when you hit Web Timesheet, this will bring you to a view of your timesheet. And again, most of you will be using the time clocks that are set up now, or will be set up soon, and you will see everything you have punched in and out on those time clocks should feed through to this system, and you can see exactly how many hours you've worked. Make sure that all your punches are correct, and just generally look at your last pay period and what you actually worked. Now, this, for demonstration purposes, shows a 2-week pay period. In your case, you'll just see 1 week that has all your punches and your total amount of hours, and there'll be some totals here at the bottom of your timesheet. So that's going to be pretty basic for you. You're not going to be actually adding any time or making any adjustments to this. This is for informational purposes only. Now, the next part I wanted to move on to is going to be probably what you're going to do the most in your self-service, and that's going to be requesting time off. So that's going to be right here under the time off calendar, or again, we have two ways to navigate. You can also go here on the left and hit request time off. And if you ever need to get back to your home screen, you'll just click the Resource Label Group logo that will actually be your logo here in the top. So when we go to request time off, it's going to bring up this calendar. So the calendar is going to be generally the easiest way that most people like to request time. Then you're going to see right above the calendar is going to be your accrual balances, so how much time you have left in your time off. These will vary depending on how your company is set up. So this is just for demonstration purposes, has a couple different types of time, but you'll see your own accruals here and how many hours you have left to take off. So in order to make a time off request, you're going to use this calendar down below. When you hover your mouse over the days, you'll see a little plus symbol pop up in the corner of those days. So we're going to make a time off request here for vacation, and it's going to start on the 28th, and we're going to request it through Monday. So in this example, our employee only works Monday through Friday. Now, this may not be your case, but if it is your case, then you're in luck because we do have a feature called Ignore Weekends, and that's going to allow you to skip over the weekends if you request time off across a weekend. Again, this is only going to apply to your Monday to Friday schedules if that's what you work. So we're going to use it here just to show that feature, and we're going to add a reason that your manager will see called vacation. We're going to ignore weekends, so only Friday and Monday will be the 2 days that will get requested off. And then I can select the start time at which I normally start and how many hours per day that I want to request off. So I'm requesting 8 hours per day off on Friday and Monday. So when I hit add request, it's simply going to feed over to the calendar. And then you'll see it in kind of a light yellow color. Now, what those colors mean are defined here in the bottom in what's called the time off legend. So you'll see that the light yellow color on the 28th and the 31st indicates that I've requested time off, but it hasn't been approved yet by my supervisor. When your supervisor does approve it or deny it, it'll be shown in another color. So you can see on the 17th, we had a time off request that we requested and it got denied. The rest of these days were all approved by our supervisors, and thus will show up in a little bit darker of a kind of yellowish orange shade. You can also jump into the future and go into another month right there at the top of the calendar. And you can see we have not requested any time yet in October of 2015. Now, alternatively, you can also expand this section up at the top that says Add Time Off Request, and you can do it right here from the screen if you prefer to do that rather than using the calendar. So that is requesting time off through Paycom. And again, your balances will be updated as you request time off. You'll see what was already approved, what is pending, and how much you have available, assuming all this gets approved. Now moving on, one of the other powerful features in Paycom is the informational and demographics section. So this is going to allow you to manage some of your own demographics. So rather than necessarily having to email or contact your HR representative to, say, change your address, you can simply go right here into the My Address and Contact Information and change the information right here. You'll also notice there'll be emergency contacts. Your HR representatives may be getting in touch with you to have you update that if you don't want to, on your own initiative, go and update these emergency contacts yourself. And you can also see just some general demographic information. This is where your W-2s and company information that's generated through Paycom is going to be sent. So make sure this is up to date. If it's not, you just simply have to change it and go to the bottom and hit Update Contact Information. And if you have something missing, you're going to have to fill that in right here. So now you can see that information has been updated, and we're back on our home screen. Another thing to point out, if you're confused by the system-generated username that you were given at first in that email, you can change it here to a valid email address, whether this be one of your personal email addresses or your work email. You can change that here if it makes it easier for you to log in and remember what user address, what email address you're using to log into Paycom. You can also reset your password right here. You can change your security questions that you had to set up when you first logged in. You can see a few pieces of information about yourself here, as well as your equal opportunity employment information. And then if you want to customize your time display between military and standard time, depending on your preference, you can also adjust that. So another common feature that you'll be using our payroll system for is to view your pay stubs and look at some of your payroll information. So that will be done through the My Payroll tab, which again is here on the left, or is here in the middle of the screen. Click on View Pay Stubs. This is where the majority of your work is going to be done. You can see the last several paychecks that you've been paid. Again, in our demo case, we don't have quite as complete information, so yours will actually start to look better than this as you're paid more and more through the Paycom system. Then at the bottom, you can see what your total pay was from the beginning of the year to now. That's going to be at the bottom. And then you may also see a few other tabs. Those are not going to be as common and will vary depending on the actual settings of Resource Label Group. This, for demonstration purposes, has a few different things turned on. And again, you can kind of click through that as needed. So this is really the majority of our pretty simple system. I did also want to point out that if at any time you've forgotten what I've said, or you want to go and read manuals or view videos yourself on the full functionality of your Paycom self-service system, you can always hit company information at the bottom and then expand the item and click on the help menu, and this is going to give you some different manuals. We have manuals in English and Spanish, and they're going to be down here depending on how your employee self-service is set up. You may see fewer or more menus than this, but this is going to give you just basics like request time off. If we load it, it'll pull up like a PDF manual that will give you a walkthrough on how to request time off. So here we have it. And this will just be a few pages of simple instructions, basically what I've just covered here in the video. So please feel free to reach out to your human resource contacts if you have any questions on how to operate this system. I'm in regular touch with them as we are working on the Paycom transition at Resource Label Group. Again, we're really excited to have you guys on board, and please let us know if you have any questions or feedback on the system. Thank you.